Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we look at the latest comics and other media featuring the Transformers. In this episode, the Transformers' triumphant return to comics continues as we review Skybound Transformers number 2. Today is Friday, November 10th, 2023, and this is episode 363 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that'll do a barrel roll. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
Apollo, aka Robo Apollo.
Hi, everyone.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hello there. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out and support the show. We really appreciate it. Your contributions help keep us going and help us keep the lights on. So that's we really need that. So thanks for all your support. Of course, if you are a Donatron, you get some bonus perks, access to bonus content. Lots of good stuff. That includes our bonus show, We Like Big Bots. And you can see all 10 episodes of that on our Patreon page featuring Daryl and Dr. Pants. Check those out. New episodes coming soon, we hope. And
You need to add that as a tagline under the bottom. New episodes coming soon, we hope.
Maybe. Eventually. Sometime. Perhaps.
And we've also got our Transformers live play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. And we've got the side adventure going on right now, the Rustford Files. And this week we had episode 4, The 3-Bot Problem, that was released. So you can check that out at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. Of course, you got all of season 1 and season 2 of the Empire of Rust storyline, all the players there. And we've got 4 episodes of our side adventure continuing right now. So check all that out. And of course, we have to mention our exclusive Transformers #1 cover with artwork done by EJ Sue. That is available only at transmissionspodcast.com/comic. And you can buy it directly from us. They're $15 plus shipping and handling. So go to our website, check that out if you are interested in getting our exclusive cover with the artwork by the only Transformers artist who previously worked on the IDW comics. All right. So this week we're going back to Transformers comics reviews. It's been pretty productive this fall. So we're jumping in with a review of Transformers number 2. All right, Transformers number 2. This is Skybound's continuing new series of the Energon universe featuring the Transformers. Writer and artist Daniel Warren Johnson, colorist Mike Spicer, letterer Russ Wooten, editor Sean Makowitz and Jonathan Manning, and publication design Andres Juarez. So there are a few covers, not as many covers as Transformers #1, but still several covers out there. We've got that connecting cover, the second part of that. You can see the cover A on our video screen here. That's the art by Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer, their cover image. And this is cover B. I'm forgetting the artist at the moment, but it's a cool transformation of Optimus Prime.
Afu Chan, I believe.
Afu Chan. Okay. Yeah, this is Optimus Prime in front of the Ark, driving off a cliff and then transforming into robot mode. There's the connecting cover. Who was the artist on the connecting cover?
This is the Orlando Urosina.
Yeah, so that's a very, very cool image there. It'll be like 4 pieces, and there's a couple other covers we don't have.
This one that we talked about in the trip to the store this week, Daryl, this does say Brian Hitch and Alex Sinclair in the credits for the comic.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, let's get into the story. So this was an interesting continuation. So we'll talk about this. All right. A new day dawns after the Autobots escape from the Decepticons last night. Optimus Prime steps out to admire the view of nature. He is overwhelmed by the beauty of life teeming on planet Earth, so different from his home on Cybertron. But Prime is so enchanted by the view that he doesn't notice that there is also life underfoot. He steps on a baby deer, inadvertently crushing it to death. Optimus is distraught that he's taken a life with his carelessness. Spike, the Autobot's human friend, sees what happened and tries to console the gentle giant. Spike tells Prime it was just an accident, but Prime is harder on himself. This is not Cybertron, a world of metal. He should have known better and been more careful. Spike doesn't have an answer for that and decides to change the subject. He asks Optimus Prime about his name, and Optimus tells him the Prime name was passed to him from the previous Autobot leader and signifies his role in the Autobot hierarchy. This leads to Optimus asking Spike about his name, which leads to a discussion about family. Prime struggles to understand the concept of a mom and a dad, since that's not how little Autobots are made on Cybertron. But he does understand what it means to be family. Spike asks about where Optimus came from, and we get the introduction of Cybertron and the war between the Autobots and Decepticons. Optimus tells Spike how there was peace on Cybertron for millennia before he came online, but the war has consumed everything now. The Autobots have been fighting for 2 centuries to return Cybertron to peace, but they were losing badly. The Autobots had no choice but to escape Cybertron on the ship they built, the Ark, in search of a way to retake Cybertron from the Decepticons. But they didn't get away. The Decepticons tracked their ship and boarded it to crush the Autobots once and for all. The most powerful Decepticon, i.e. Megatron, personally led the assault on the Ark. The last thing Optimus remembers seeing was Spike's planet, Earth, right before they entered the atmosphere and crash-landed. When Optimus finishes his story, he again thanks Spike for helping him and the Autobots escape from the Decepticons. Spike offers his condolences for the Yellow Bot whom Starscream murdered in the battle. Prime slumps in grief and answers with one word: family. The mood is lightened with the appearance of Cliffjumper back online. Optimus is happy to see another of his Autobots up and running. Spike tries to introduce himself to the new bot, but Cliffjumper recoils in fear. He's not used to all the icky organic things on this new world. Carly is not amused by Cliffjumper's skittishness and reminds him that the humans have more to fear from giant robots from outer space that can crush them effortlessly than the bots have to fear from any humans or other organic creatures. Cliffjumper calms down and gives Carly a proper greeting. Meanwhile, Ratchet is busy trying to get the other Autobots back online. The combination of Prime's trailer with raw materials left in the abandoned quarry has given him enough resources to bring more Autobots online. But it's not enough. Without a new source of energon, Ratchet won't be able to revive anyone else yet. While the Autobots consider their options, Carly turns on a portable generator to run her airbrush equipment and adds a little bit more art to her van, the profile of Optimus Prime. Cliffjumper takes solace in the fact that if their energon is low, the Decepticons must be too. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Starscream successfully raided the power plant last night and brought back enough energy to power the other cons. At the trash power plant, Sparkplug has called the police to tell them about the giant metal monster that attacked the plant and killed poor Davy. The cops are still skeptical despite the mutilated dead body. But not for long. The Decepticons have returned to the plant to collect more energy. Skywarp makes a horrific entrance, landing with a thunder in robot mode and crushing the police car underfoot. The humans scatter in terror as the other Decepticons join Skywarp. Soundwave commends Starscream for finding a promising source of energy. He has jury-rigged an energy transfer module from components on the Ark to capture more energy from the power plant. Meanwhile, the cop who is interviewing Sparkplug has more bravery than sense and tries in vain to shoot the Decepticons with his service pistol. Sparkplug tries to tell him to get back and run, but it's too late. Starscream gleefully steps on the officer with no hesitation. Skywarp rejoices as the energy transfer module drains energy from the power plant. Nearby, a U.S. fighter jet happens to be in the area. Command radios the jet to investigate some weird readings on their radar. The pilot acknowledges and changes course to check it out. The pilot apologizes to his passenger, a fellow soldier, who is hitching a ride to his next military assignment. On the ground, Soundwave has picked up the military communications and warned Starscream of an impending tactical response from the humans. Starscream is excited at this prospect of seeing what pathetic resistance the humans can muster, and immediately transforms to jet mode to engage the approaching fighter. Starscream makes good use of the element of surprise, as the pilot does not realize until it's too late that the jet approaching them is not one of theirs. Starscream opens fire and a dogfight ensues. The fighter pilot holds his own for a bit, managing to avoid Starscream's lock and doing some fancy flying to turn the tables. But just as the pilot gets a lock on Starscream, he transforms to robot mode in midair, swatting the fighter jet away with a giant metal hand. The pilot and his passenger are in trouble as the plane spins out of control. They manage to eject from the plane before it crashes, but that doesn't save the pilot. Starscream is still hovering right there in robot mode to greet the human pilot who thought he had escaped. Starscream smiles as he smashes the pilot between his two hands. The ejecting passenger watches in horror as his friend is murdered, but he's not helpless in his parachute. He clicks a button and the parachute disengages while his backpack unfolds into a jetpack with wings. The soldier grabs his sidearm from his holster and fires straight at Starscream. The soldier grabs his sidearm from his holster and flies straight at Starscream. Starscream throws a punch but only catches the loose parachute. The soldier manages to aim at Starscream's head and fires a shot directly into his face. The blast does little more than annoy Starscream, but like most bullies, Starscream's only having fun if his targets don't fight back. He transforms back to jet mode and flies away, letting the soldier escape on his jetpack. As he flies away, we see the code name on the soldier's jumpsuit: Duke. Back on the ground, Skywarp has taken an interest in Sparkplug, the last living human still at the scene. Sparkplug takes another cop car and drives away while Skywarp playfully chases him like a cat toying with the mouse. But Soundwave tells Skywarp to look out as they've got bigger problems. The now empty fighter jet Starscream dispatched is about to crash directly on Skywarp's head. The sound of the crash is heard all the way in the quarry. The Autobots, Spike and Carly, see the smoke. Spike knows the location is the power plant where his dad works. Cliffjumper uses a scope to zoom in and sees that the plant is under attack by Decepticons. Optimus doesn't hesitate. He has to go and try to stop the Decepticons and protect the humans. He brought their war to Earth, and it's now the Autobots' duty to defend it. Ratchet and Cliffjumper have to stay with the deactivated Autobots and work to get them back online, so Optimus is going to confront the Decepticons alone. Spike asks Optimus to let him come with him. Optimus refuses at first, but Spike says he has to go. It's his dad, his family. Optimus reluctantly agrees and transforms to truck mode. Carly asks Spike not to go, but Spike has to do this. It's what Jimmy would do. Prime and Spike drive off with Carly calling behind them. Carly gets into her van and decides she's going home to make sure her family is okay. As she drives down the highway back to town, she doesn't notice that a metallic bird has taken notice of her van. Laserbeak's super accurate optic sensors catch the image of Optimus Prime on the side of Carly's van, and he decides to follow. As Carly gets home, she runs in looking for her dad, but only Sparkplug is there, in full tactical gear with several firearms. Carly is confused. She asks where Spike is and where's her dad. Sparkplug delivers the sad news. Her dad, Sparkplug's friend Davy, was the first to be killed by the Decepticons. And that's the end. To be continued. So yeah, this was a little bit slower paced issue, but it was kind of the necessary kind of setup for the Transformers. You know, we get a little bit more insight into Optimus Prime. We get kind of the traditional story about Cybertron, where they came from. I mean, this is for you know, fans of Transformers who've been living this stuff for the last 40 years. it's not anything new for this origin story, but I think it's a nice the way they reintroduce it is nice, and I think hopefully new readers, people who are picking up this and haven't looked at Transformers in a long time, are enjoying this story. I especially liked how the Spike and Optimus Prime connected, and both the kind of theme of family uh, connected to them. How yes, they're giant robots from an alien planet, but they still understand family, even if the birds and the bees are not quite the same on Cybertron. So that's there's no mommy and daddy. No mommy and daddy robots love each other very much and make little baby robots, but they still have the concept of family despite that.
I can
and
show you some art that will disagree with you.
All right, we'll leave the Rule 34 fan art to where let's let it stay there. Not bring it on the show. You can Google search for that. Don't do it, Daryl. Don't make us cut your don't make us cut your feed.
Oh my god. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, but I thought this was a fun issue. I mean, it was a little bit less action packed than the first issue, but we did have Decepticons wrecking shit and killing people. So I mean, there's that. This was a standard size issue, so this was only 20 pages, as the first issue was 30 pages. So he actually had a little bit more room to work with in the first issue. But I think the second issue was paced really well. It set I think the story flowed really well. It sets up for, you're interested to see the next issue with Optimus Prime going to confront the Decepticons alone. The artwork I thought was really great, especially the word effects for all the for the different fight scenes. I mean, the one image of Starscream crushing the pilot in between his hands and the big splat in the background. Yeah, that was intense. So but yeah, I mean, I'm really I think Daniel Warren Johnson art is really great, and I think since he's plotting the story and he's really doing a good job with pushing this this forward here. And we also get the introduction of Duke, so we know that's going to go into Duke #1. So this is kind of the inciting incident for the creation of G.I. Joe here, which is interesting. So we'll see where that goes in Duke #1 next month. And overall, yeah, I'm enjoying this reintroduction of Transformers. So also the twist of Carly's dad being Davy. We thought Davy was kind of just a red shirt from issue 1, but no, he was Carly's dad. So yeesh, that's going to be rough, especially since this is going to be some conflicting things with Carly. I'm sure will be upset about the Decepticons murdering her father, and then maybe even blaming the Autobots the same way Optimus Prime kind of blames himself for bringing the Transformers to Earth. So we'll see how that goes. And also, I really liked the subtle way that Laserbeak figured like caught up with Carly's van and started following her. Because when I was reading it the first time I read it, I was like, why would Laserbeak follow this random van? That doesn't make sense. But then you can see in the artwork how like first in the first couple like the earlier in the book, you have Carly airbrushing Optimus Prime on her van, and it's kind of in the background, so there's not really a lot of attention drawn to it. But then in that page, you see Laserbeak zooming in on that one image, like, oh, that's Optimus Prime. So clearly, this human has seen Optimus Prime. So we're gonna follow and see what we can see. So I like that. I'm sure that's gonna pay off in the next issue. And I thought this was good. I had fun. So yeah, good job. Good job, Skybound. Good job, Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer. So Apollo, what were your thoughts on this issue? And your boy Starscream being kind of a really bad bully here.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. I mean, I picked a problematic character as my favorite character. I mean, he was a villain, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Um, no, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you said, Charles, about I really like that family was a woven theme throughout this. And I don't remember that being in like G1. So I think that's great that this is a concept that they've taken from the more modern Transformer
Yeah.
comics and stories and shows and whatnot. Um, so I was not expecting Optimus to crush a deer, and I kind of like got sick to my stomach reading it. I was like, oh, like, I think I even made a noise reading it. But it really showed, like it was effective storytelling because it got me to feel things, not just like reading it. Like I could really feel Optimus being so troubled that he hurt this deer by accident, and
Yeah.
Spike being like, hey, it's an accident. I saw everything, and that's how they connected. And, um, and it was just visually, you see Optimus do that, he steps on a deer and is like, troubled and disturbed, and he's like, oh, I need to be more careful, life's so fragile here. And then we switch to the Decepticons, and then I believe it's Skywarp who just immediately squishes someone, steps on them with purposefully with intent to kill. So visually, from a storytelling perspective, it just really shows the Autobots are peaceful. They don't want to cause harm or damage. And then the Decepticons are just like, yeah, we're going to wreck some shit, as you're saying. Yeah, it was, it is really violent. We learned that early on, like seeing the last issue, that's like, oh, when Starscream squished that person, it was like, oh yeah, like this is going to be violent. That I think we're going to be in for a lot of that. It seems like, I liked how intimidating Megatron looked too. It's just like, oh, like he looks really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, really loving the art style. Like I know it's very simple, like the robots aren't that detailed, the Transformers aren't, but I love just how expressive it is and all the dynamic angles and that we're getting and the facial expressions. It's been really, really good. Looking forward to seeing the next issue. But yeah, it's making me question Starscream being my favorite character. I'm like, why didn't I choose Optimus Prime? But he's got a cool design and villains are fun. So
yeah, villain. You can like bad villains.
Yeah.
That's okay.
yeah, yeah. But no, I'm enjoying it. Like I think they're doing a great job with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more.
Yeah. All right, Daryl. What did you think of this book?
The start of it was good. I liked the not that it's a good thing, but the interaction with Optimus and the deer was good. It placed Optimus's character. It showed us what kind of character he had. And Apollo touched on it there. The juxtaposition of Optimus is standing on the deer and Skywarp crushing,
Actually
on purpose,
lands on
was
an ambulance that had just been loaded up with Carly's dad.
right. So it's it's an interesting juxtaposition there. Obviously, it places them both in very different spots, and for those people who are new to Transformers, you get a a Transformers 101 course here on who's bad and who's good and how bad they are. We really don't get a lot of characterization for, the Decepticons here. We just get a lot of, they're bad. We get a little bit about Soundwave. We get, Starscream is the most we've got characterization for. The battle scene, I loved. The Starscream, the dog fighting and stuff like that was amazing. I felt that, I could go from panel to panel and I could follow it, and it was not that it was easy to follow because I'm an idiot, but it was drawn so well. And when the pilot's ejected and the right into Starscream's face and he says hi, I'm like, shit, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, okay, I could put myself in the pilot's face, in their head and think, you're in trouble. I did not expect Starscream to just squish them, right? But damn, he's maniacal here. He's toying with them like a cat toys with a mouse, right, before it kills it. But it was fantastic, and that battle, every part of it was put together perfectly. The the art was done really well. A lot of the, like you said, Charles, the sound effects and how they really they added to the art was really well done. I really did enjoy the way that this was put together. I fully expected at some point we were going to get a backstory on, this is, where we come from, and this is, what happened, and this is why we're fighting, and blah, 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 blah. So, this is fine. I'm perfectly happy with it taking up, a third of this issue. And it's no big whoop. I did notice that in one of the flashbacks here, you do see that Beachcomber is getting taken out. So, we may not have Beachcomber in this thing. So, whatever. I like Beachcomber, but whatnot. It does paint Megatron as a very like tyrannical kind of a leader. It also puts Megatron on the ship, I thought. Like,
yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeah.
on the Ark.
Yeah, he was.
So he's here somewhere, right? So yeah, so we've got we haven't seen him yet, but he's on Earth somewhere. But yeah, I really did enjoy it. I'm going to be interested to see what the response of the humans are, because in previous comics and storylines, the humans can't really muster much of a response, and that's a shame because it's our planet, but we kind of suck when fighting large, robots. So hopefully we can, muster something here, but it's been fun. I've been enjoying it so far. The art and the battles is great. There was no wrestling moves in this one, which was fine by me.
Just a little bit. The Megatron Optimus panel is kind of say it's wrestling. It actually, yeah, it is, because he's definitely doing an eye gouge, which if you've ever watched wrestling, Prime probably spent the next few minutes just holding on to his eye as if he's completely blinded.
Right.
Oh.
Of course. Anyway, I like the issue. I thought it was great. Cliff Jumper seems to be the filling the Bumblebee role here. He seems a little too chipper so far for the characterization that I seem to remember for Cliff Jumper. He seems like he'd be more of a surly character, but we got a few more issues to kind of see where that they want to take this character. Anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to where they take this.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, regarding humans' response, I mean, if you're a cop and you have a pistol, do you think that's going to do anything against a giant metal robot that's a standing
A
right
for
next to you.
effort, Charles. A for effort.
Yeah.
But he probably figured he's not going to be getting out of this thing alive anyway, so he might as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Fair enough. All right, Jeremy, what were your thoughts?
I mean, much the same as what you guys said. I really enjoyed the characterization of Optimus at the beginning, just very clearly showing he cares for life regardless of where it's from, whether he understands it or not. It was just so simply put, and just it easily shows you his character, and the contrast is just amazing. I didn't realize that at first that it was the ambulance that Skywarp had landed on until I was looking at it during the review. The Decepticons just don't care at all. The choreography and everything was really great with all the fights, but I think the dogfight scene, I think Daniel Warren Johnson spent some time watching Top Gun, because there was when the human pilot goes up to get behind Starscream, that's straight out of Top Gun. When like Maverick kind of hits the brakes and stuff. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, you're just pulling from like all the 80s right now. But then, yeah, I mean, clearly this is also set up for G.I. Joe, and I thought with just very little, they kind of show you Duke is a capable human character, that, you know, he has some weaponry or some gear that isn't really standard, so there's something going on here. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this is going. But then just the surprise with Carly's dad being the first guy that died, and I think we established in the last issue that Sparkplug has some PTSD going on already.
Yeah.
And then seeing him in his full military uniform, this is definitely like a little deeper than I was expecting. Like issue 1 I felt was fairly shallow in terms of just kind of meaty stuff, giving us a lot of, I mean, it was basically getting casual readers in, and this is adding a lot more of that meat on the bone, and I'm really enjoying the little bits and pieces that we're putting here. If you saw, the police cars are clearly Prowl's alt mode. So we're, you know, when, you know, that car is going to end up where the Autobots are for it to become Prowl's alt mode. I really liked the thing about Carly doing the spray painting, and like you said, Charles, that was a really neat way of kind of showing Laserbeak and what Laserbeak is capable of, as well as just kind of Carly, you know, I guess working things out through her art and through her van. And I think it's just cool that she has, you know, this van that she's just constantly updating. It's got like a barbarian and like a dinosaur or a dragon or something, and
she's seen some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
this isn't our first rodeo.
Yeah. So it's just it's I think there's so many little things in here that are done so well, and I'm on board for the ride. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Cool. All right, yeah, that's our review of Transformers #2. So we'll be eagerly awaiting Transformers #3 next month, and I guess Duke #1. I mean, now like Duke #1 has my attention. I'm curious to see where Duke #1 is going after seeing this. So you know, now that we get a little bit more context for that 3-page preview of Duke #1 that was already published a little while ago. So you can see why
also
he's
in the back of this book.
Yeah. Also, I guess Was there anything in the letters page I wanted to mention? I think they were already in the letters page. It was already had some really, they were all like positive response to Transformers #1 and all the stuff that was happening there. Oh yeah, they have a hashtag where is Megatron now. So that's so, he says, yeah, Megatron, he's got big plans for Megatron's arrival. So yes, Megatron is in play. He will be I imagine before the end of this 6-issue arc, he will be making an appearance. So, yeah. Hashtag where is Megatron? So use that on your social media.
He should be easier to spot than Waldo.
So, all right. Well, I think that'll do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Why don't you guys write in and tell us what you thought of Transformers #2? Send us a voicemail at transmissionspodcast.com/feedback, or send us an email, or send comments right in this video if you're watching on YouTube, or you can send comments to the website. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying Transformers #2 as much as we are. And we're looking forward to more. So that'll do it for this episode. Of course, at the end of every episode, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. So those are the folks who continue to support the podcast at our highest level on Patreon. So thank you once again to John 4X Levengood and Demon Tech 82. We really appreciate your support. And Apollo, we appreciate your support. Thank you again for joining us this week. And why don't you tell everyone where they can find you online?
Yeah, you're welcome. I always enjoy being on here. So you can find me at the site formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky at RoboPaulo. I've been busy making a lot of artwork, so you can check that out. There's also the Transmissions Discord I'm a part of. It's an awesome community where we all chat about Transformers and other media. There is a unofficial hangout session on Discord. It's every Wednesday from starting at around 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, if you want to talk Transformers, check that out too.
Awesome. Yeah, you can find our Discord server at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. That's where you can get the invite. So very easy to join up. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching and listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. I mean, later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.